Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say. Viewer discretion is advised.
Late nights, same chair, same ground, right there. Turn it on, leaning close, this that. Welcome to the mark, the mentor show, where the plans turn real and the hustlers grow. Talk money, talk mindset, talk get it, let's go. If you came from the bottom, it's the road you know. It's the mark, the mentor show. Every loss, every lesson, turn it all to gold. From the late night notes to the sold out goals. Say the name one time so the whole world know.
Whoa, the mark, the mentor show. Whoa, the mark, the mentor show. Whoa, the mark, the mentor show.
The mark, the mentor show.
Sweet.
What's up? Come on in, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. If you are in need of commercial insurance for your box truck, semi-truck, or cargo van business, there's a link and a phone number in the description below for Log Rock up for renewal. Looking for a more affordable commercial insurance solution for your commercial insurance. Link in the description, phone number in the description below. Log Rock, partner to the channel. Come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Turn on all post notifications.
Sweet.
How's everybody doing this afternoon? We're trying something a little bit different now. We're seeing, well, we're on Facebook and we're on YouTube, obviously. But YouTube has been trying to get me to do this dual stream. So we're doing the horizontal and we're doing the vertical stream at the same time. I'm gonna see how it works. I know with these vertical streams, they push the vertical short streams out to more people, and a lot of those people aren't really, I don't think those are the type of people that watch this content and they come in and they start trolling and shit. So we'll see how it works today. If we get a lot of trolls, then you'll understand it's because we're doing this vertical thing. And if it just brings in a bunch of people that are not interested into trucking, if they push it, then tomorrow we will not do it. All right, let's get this show on the road. All right, because I know I'm running a little bit late and I got to get in and get out. Shout out to Pippi. Shout out to the moderators in the building. Shout out to Trevor. It's the Mark the Mentor Show. Yes, sir. Shout out to Kevin Burr. Shout out to the MGM gang. Shout out to Eddie Kim in the building. Shout out to Valise representing the MGM gang. Let's turn that on. Shout out to William Sweet, representing Jacksonville. Shout out to D Block, representing North Carolina. MGM Gang. Shout out to Chris P, representing Texas. Shout out to Ben Uzi, representing Atlanta and also representing that MGM thing. Shout out to Slick Turbo in the building. Shout out to Junior Chosen, representing the MGM Gang. Shout out to CTR Logistics, representing South Carolina and that MGM gang. Why is this shit popping up? Shout out to Sharks World in the building. Shout out Sharks, what you been on, pimp? Who is this? Chow Muspack. I took your advice, black man. Got me a 2,500 band Sprinter commercial insurance and waiting on this snow to clear to book my loads. You say you took my advice on what? Getting a cargo van before a box truck? Because I ain't never told nobody to get no Mercedes Benz. I ain't never told nobody to get no Benz, so I know it wasn't on that. Probably took the advice as far as the cargo van over the box truck, but nonetheless, I should say, appreciate you for watching. Shout out to Bill Bob in the building. What's going on, MGM gang? Shout out to Chucky in the building. What is going on? What's going on? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Turn on all post notifications. We're going to see how this horizontal and vertical stream work out today. All right, so boom. Obviously, you know, we down to 3 days live streaming a week. I think this week we're going to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, maybe Friday. I'm not sure. But today, Monday for sure, Wednesday for sure, tomorrow, and I got some shit that I have to do. But yeah, so we here. I haven't been here since what, Friday. So how was your weekend? How was the chat's weekend? Hope everybody had a good, productive, and prosperous and safe weekend. Um, this weekend for me, I was chilling. Not too much, not too much. I caught some content yesterday. I seen some shots fired, man. A lot of shots, not at me, but on Instagram. There's a lot of beefs going on Instagram between content creators, and I've seen a lot of shit going on. I also seen a lot of people still telling people to quit their jobs, which, I think a lot of people that quit their jobs right now just unknowingly, because they're chasing just dreams and aspirations and they're doing it ignorantly. I just think they're gonna be in a world of trouble. And the people that's telling people to quit their jobs, it's just like, it's bad, because the people that I see that are telling people to quit their jobs, they're telling them that because they have a product that they want them to buy from them, like a course or a mentorship. And these people just do not have people's best interest in mind. A lot of the people that come into this business, we know, are ignorant. It's tax time, so I believe that's why a lot of this rhetoric is being pushed. People are taking advantage of people knowing that they got their tax money, and now is the time for people to obviously take advantage of those people with their products. So today's conversation is really just going to be a conversation. It's going to be based on entry. It's going to be an entry level conversation, because we got those types of people that are watching the content now that are looking to come into a cargo van business, box truck business, because they have their tax money. And I'm just going to give you the information that you need to assess your situation, in comparison to a lot of the information that you're probably consuming from other content creators that just really have their best interest in mind and not yours, which ultimately leads to majority of the people that do come into this business in general, but mostly around this time of the year, their failure. The people that come in now these people fail the quickest. These are some of the most ignorant people, because they're coming in with no just understanding. They don't take the time to understand what they're investing in. They're just taking this money and they're thinking it's just going to be, they can turn it over real quick. So I want to talk about that today, from going from broke to a box truck boss, the blueprint that nobody tells you about, going from broke to starting a cargo van business, going from broke to starting a box truck business, especially if you got tax money. If you didn't have any money before you got your tax money, and you got your tax money, and this is what you're going to start to, you still broke. So we're going to talk about it today, and it shouldn't hurt your feelings. If you're really listening with an open mind, you'll take everything into consideration. Instead of accepting it and consuming it from a feelings perspective, what you'll do is you'll do a risk analysis, and you'll analyze your risk, and you'll do a risk assessment to see if this opportunity at this particular time is best for you, your family, and your situation. So if you're broke right now, you're trying to start a cargo van business, your problem is not the truck. I know a lot of people think it's the truck, because that's probably one of the most expensive, that is the most expensive thing that you got to get, the truck or the van. And more importantly, I want you to think about it from this aspect: discipline, planning, and timing. Broke people don't need trucks first. They need a plan. First reason most people fail: no plan. A plan is not finding your favorite content creator, your favorite influencer, and just taking their word at face value. Most of these people, I'm gonna be honest with you, are not tenured enough, and they have not your best interest in mind. It's theirs, and you are the product. You just don't realize it. So today I'm going to give you the roadmap to go from, $0 to running a profitable cargo van and box truck business. And some people, once listening to this, if you're consuming it the correct way, you may be thinking that now is the right time, and then you may realize that this may not be the right time for you. Not as far as the business or the economy or the current trucking market. It may not be the right time for you based on the risk analysis, right? First thing you shouldn't do is finance a $70,000 truck. Listen, we had a lady call up the other day, maybe about 2 weeks ago now, just listening to content creators, jumped out the window. didn't last long. A lot of people come in, they think, okay, I'm gonna get the truck. I saw my favorite content creator posting these $9,000, $10,000 weeks. These are people that don't understand gross versus, net. They don't understand profit margins. So they think $70,000 truck, oh man, I'm gonna be making $10,000 a week. That ain't nothing. First mistake. You can't come in with some tax money and then just automatically go out and finance a $70,000 truck. So these are the no-nos first. Let's get the no-nos out the way. Another no-no, quit your job. There's a lot of people, they call up to the show. There's a content creator, not on this platform, but he's very popular, I think, on, is it Instagram or TikTok? But his whole thing is quitting your job to start a box truck business. No. Don't quit your job. A lot of the people that call up that want to quit their job, they have some good jobs with good benefits, and they just don't really understand the margins in this industry. Now, you can surpass what you're doing at your current job if you get a box truck business, but I think a lot of people not everybody. Now, if you're working at McDonald's or you're working at Walmart, that's one thing. But like I've had guys that are 20-year veterans. I've had people call up that are skilled tradesmen. There's a guy that, called up maybe a year and a half ago. Was a plumber, a skilled tradesman, a journeyman, had did all his apprenticeship. This guy was doing plumbing on a commercial level. He was crawling in holes and doing all the commercial plumbing. The company he worked for, they did a lot of commercial buildings, and he was young. He was still in his 20s, and he was in the whole mind frame of doing working for himself. He's been sold this idea that he needs to do it for himself. Now, me being an older gentleman, looking at his situation and understanding what it takes to get to where he wants to get to, he's going to be sacrificing a lot, because where he wants to get to in business, or where he's at currently as a skilled tradesman, as a plumber, it's going to take him a little bit of time to generate that type of take-home money. A lot of people get misconstrued gross, right, versus net for the business, and then you are a separate entity from the business. The business has to pay you. And this is where I have to, really, like, people that come into my Discord, I really have to spend time and get them to understand that. Some people, they take it as, I don't know if they take it from a pessimistic point of view. I don't think it's hate, because they know I'm not hating on them. But a lot of people have been sold this idea of just working for yourself, and sometimes they don't realize they're in a better situation. So don't quit your job because an influencer tells you. You have to analyze your risk. Don't listen to Instagram and TikTok and YouTube gurus. You can consume information, but consume it, put it in your back pocket, and then follow behind it and check the information to see if it's credible or not. Don't take anything at face value unless a person is deemed himself credible. A lot of people find people that they like and they just take what they say face value, and then they get mad when things don't work out for them, and then they come back and they come on the internet and they want to blast these individuals. Some rightfully so, some maybe not so rightfully so, because I don't know what's in these courses. I don't know what's in these mentorships, because I'm not taking them. So it could possibly be you were misled, or it could possibly be maybe you weren't misled and you just didn't apply what was taught. Like, the work still has to be done. But there are a lot of people that mislead people. I see people pop up every time around this year because this is money time. It's easy to go to Fiverr, get a free course, or pay $5, $10 for a course, repackage it with your branding and sell it and say, hey, I got the 10 steps to box truck millions. And we're in a society where people just fall victim to that shit. Most people, I don't think, should start with a 26-foot box truck. The entry level is too high. The cost of entry is really too high, especially for a lot of people's acumen that they come in with. People are just not searching for the right information and exercising a level of patience and discipline until they have a good enough understanding of what they're about to invest into. Good enough understanding and enough working capital. And we see it all the time. Most people have neither because they're anxious. This is why when people come up and they say they want to quit their job, you see me ask why. Because I'm trying to understand the psychology. Like, why would you want to quit your job? There's a guy that called up. We had a post office guy. I'm not saying he wanted to quit, but we have people that call from the post office. We've had people call up that are skilled tradesmen, not unskilled. We're talking about skilled tradesmen, plumbers, electricians. And it's just this mindset that social media has put into people. Social media ruined people. I don't think most people that are coming into this industry have the mental capacity or the working capital to start with a 26-foot box truck. But I think most people that are coming into tax money, or most people that want to start this and they really know they don't have the working capital, the first thing they need to do is stabilize their income. They need to stabilize their income. They need to fix their credit. Something popped up on YouTube, content creator that did a whole thing about if you got bad credit, start a box truck business. I disagree with that. I think if you're not there personally from a discipline level, right? I'm not saying if you got bad credit, or like you won't be able to do it. Why do you have bad credit? Is it due to just discipline, or is it just due to just a lack of credit history? So I'm not saying if you have a lack of credit history, right, because you just don't have a credit card, or you have a credit card but you don't use it and you're not building credit, that's one thing. If you have bad credit due to poor decision, that's a totally separate thing. All right. Lowering your expenses. This kind of goes back to what I was talking about a few minutes ago, as far as people wanting to quit their job. Like, you got people that I talk to that call up that have really, really good jobs, really well-paying jobs. And their main reason for wanting to quit is because they don't want no boss. They want to do it for themselves. And they think that they're going to automatically come into or leave their job and come into box truck in a cargo van, and they're going to make enough money to suffice and just kind of get what they're getting right now on their job. Because they're looking at these gross numbers from their favorite content creators and influencers, and not understanding that a lot of these numbers are inflated. And even if they're not inflated, these are gross numbers. This is not what you're going to take home. A lot of these guys come into my Discord that you see on the channel, and then you see a lot of these guys that do come into the Discord. And the number is crazy to me how these people are all different, but the number is the same. Most of the guys that want to quit their job, they're making like $70,000 a year. And when they come in, I say, well, most of them have families already. They're established in life. They're either homeowners, family, so on and so forth. So they have bills, right? These aren't people that can move back home and live like a Viking and make this shit shake. These aren't these types of people. So when I hear their backstory, I automatically jump to this. How much does this business have to pay you in order to make it worth your while? Like, how much does the business have to pay you? They all say 70 grand. It's crazy how 70 grand is the magic number. So I was talking to this one guy in the Discord, Vic. He's a semi-truck driver, local. He's making about 70 grand a year. He says he wants to quit to do a box truck. And we were in the Discord, so this was a public Discord. Those people will remember. And when I'm going through the numbers with him, he's not understanding the numbers as I'm breaking it down because he's listening to these guys tell him these gross numbers. And I'm just like, yo, this is gross for the business, for the truck. I put you on the high end of one box truck for a year. You're not going to bring in 70. But Mark, how come I'm not? I can do this much with a box truck. The truck can do that much. But to make that much, there's costs that are along the way. For you to generate this much money, it's going to cost fuel. 20, 25, 30%. That brings us from here now to here. What are you going to do? Are you going to rent or are you going to finance? He said what he was going to do. I said, all right, so now over the course of 12 months, that's going to bring you down even further. Now we're under 100 grand. How are you going to pay yourself 70 with just two variables? We got one fixed and one variable. And there's some more fixed that we got to go, like insurance. There's plenty of other variables, and we're already under 100 grand. So how are you going to pay yourself $70,000 with one truck? You want to pay yourself $70,000. How? Every time I start breaking the numbers down for people, it gets quiet. No more pushback. Because everybody has this mindset that this one truck is going to make them six figures. It's not going to make you six figures. One truck isn't going to do it. And this is why most people fail, because they don't do the numbers. They look at the gross number that's being portrayed to them online, and they automatically think, oh, I'm going to make $200,000 a year with a box truck, or 175 or 225 or 250. Most owner operators in a box truck ain't cracking 200. They're not. I got the data and statistics to prove it. They're not. I'm partnered with people like LogRock and Verizon and other companies. Like, they have the statistics because you guys pay them. They know what you're cracking. I know what you're cracking based on the polls. I know what you're cracking, the average box trucker is cracking based on the partnerships that I have with these big companies. So when these guys are telling you, the most of the shit you see online is fabricated. So how, with all the costs that you're consuming in the business with the truck, how are you going to pay yourself almost $100,000 a year? Every time I have to break this shit down to people, silence. Why? Because the numbers don't lie. It's just they never broke it down and thought about it until they came across me, and I took the time to do it for them. Now, can you make and pay yourself over $100,000 a year in this business? Absolutely, but it's not going to happen with one truck. So now you got to ask yourself, do you have the time? Does your lifestyle and your current life afford you to be able to bring your lifestyle down while you build that business up so that that business can pay you a six-figure salary? This is how you're supposed to think about it. Some people can do that. But if you're a person who's already built a life, you got kids, you got a mortgage, you got other bills that you can't lessen your lifestyle or lower your lifestyle, then that's where the risk assessment has to come into place, which most people don't do until they come across me, and then we have these types of conversations. A lot of your favorite people, I'm just, no offense, they like young. I'm pushing 50. So I can have these real life conversations, and a lot of them don't like it. You know why? Because it fucks their bread up. These are real conversations that you're gonna have. These are real conversations you're supposed to have. These are the real thoughts that you're supposed to be thinking when you're analyzing, yo, can I take this risk? You're supposed to do a risk analysis. Not everybody can lower their expenses. You got some guys out here that can live like a Viking. They ain't married, they ain't got no kids, they rent an apartment. They can get rid of the apartment, put their shit in storage, live in the truck for a year, run their bag up, save. Not everybody can do that. While they running their bag up over the first year on the road, they're going through the learning curve, which is not free. But they can absorb that learning curve shock better than a person that quit their $70,000 a year job, who has a family that they have to sustain. And that learning curve, they can't really absorb it like that, right? So what they end up having to do is rob from the sustainability of the business because they got this shit at home. This person done gave all that up. They didn't have that. So they learning curve, even if it's the same, they could absorb it better because they have minimal cost on the back end. And this is what people don't think about. Everybody automatically thinks get a box truck, get a cargo van. I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna run it up. 85, 90% of the people that try it fail. Majority of the people, if they had this conversation and they had this thought process before they made their decision, a percentage of those people would have probably not did it. Another percentage of those people, if they would have had this conversation, this thought process, they would have pumped the brakes a little bit and said, you know what? Let me analyze this a little more. Let me save a little bit more money. Let me make sure that I got enough money to survive 6 to 12 months on home, just in case the business needs more time or I need more time to master this learning curve that may cost me so that I don't have to take from the business to pay it here. And then if something happens over here, I don't have it because I took it from over here to take care of this shit over here. So yeah, you got to stack cash. And we've had conversations about things that can happen. I've given you my experiences. You've had people come up here give you their experiences. Shit happens. We've had people come up first week, bad shit happens. We've had people that have come up first week, the little working capital they had gone. Keyword little. We had a guy call up, Mark, I got $2,000 in my rent due. I got a newborn at home. Couldn't even make, to me, that's a cut and dry decision. But we got to remember this kid 23, 24. His favorite content creator, man, keep going. Mark said, no, pay your motherfucking rent. You got a newborn baby at the crib. You couldn't figure this shit out. You only been out here 30 days and you asking me this question. That means you ain't ready. You only in it 30 days. Nigga, go pay your rent, go get you a job, or go Uber Eats or DoorDash until somebody call you. Because $2,000 ain't enough. People was in the chat telling him, no, Mark, no, he got to go one more week. He it's do or die. Did y'all just hear what the motherfucker said? He said he got an infant at the crib. His baby mama don't work. Mark, should I pay the rent or should I rent the truck for one more week? He in a rental truck. He was in the enterprise. Unc going, yo, keep a roof over that baby head. Keep some money coming in. These niggas is telling them, nah, nigga, keep going. Mark, 2009 ain't no money. 1,000 finna go to enterprise. Now he down a G. So that means he got a G to his name for the business and the crib. It's not enough. That shit ain't even enough money for home. With a newborn, anything can happen. What the fuck is we talking about? Nigga, go home. Turn the truck in, go home. This is why I'm like, yo, when I be listening to y'all shorties out here, boy, this is why y'all fucked up out here. My generation, we knew how to run a bag up. We know how to run a bag up. I tell y'all niggas, y'all listen to kids. Ain't no kid gonna tell me how to make money, nigga. You can't even wipe your ass straight. No offense. But I see why a lot of y'all niggas get fucked up and misled. Y'all listen to kids. There's no wisdom there. All them old traditions. No, nigga, these is fundamentals. These are fundamentals. If you can't save $5,000, how the fuck you gonna manage 50? If you come across a nickel and you can't manage that shit properly, how you gonna manage 50,000? How you gonna manage when motherfucker cutting you a check or a settlement for $20,000 and $30,000? The same shit that y'all hear, I hear it too. And I'm laughing at the shit. This shit is crazy to me. This is why I be challenging people, but nobody come. We put bread up, everything. Won't nobody debate me. It's just like the motherfucker that I heard saying, yo, they was bragging on how much money they spent on taxes. To me, that shit was the dumbest shit you could, like, that's how ignorant you know these motherfuckers are. Like, who brags on that shit, bro? That's stupid to me. You mean to tell me you couldn't find shit to write off? And even after you found shit to write off, that means you don't know how to play the game that the people that you complain about, the game that they play. And we talked about that. I gave that sauce 2 weeks ago. So if you broke, the first thing you got to focus on is cash flow. You need money. You can't do nothing without no money, bro. Nothing, especially when it comes to business. Like, I don't know. Y'all got to stop listening to these people, bro. You can't do shit with no money, bro. And if you don't have no money, you got to build the money up. So first thing you need to do is keep your job if you want to really come into this business and be successful. Keep your job and then work overtime. If you really want to make this shit happen, keep your job and work overtime. You need to have enough money to sustain your cost of living at home and the business. The business is going to have ebbs and flows. It's going to have ups and downs, upturns, downturns. A lot of this shit is going to be beyond your control. You can only control what you can control, the controllables. But then there's going to be a lot of uncontrollables in business that you have to be prepared for. Breakdowns, market shifts, economy downturns, consumer buying behavior shifting. You can't control this. And then when these economic things come into play, You're still competing. Now you're competing with more people for less opportunity, which does what? Drives rates down. This is why you have to come into the business already set and prepared to compete. This is why I'm saying you don't come in with a high cost of entry. You come in with a low cost of entry as possible. Your favorite people tell you go buy all these new trucks and go fucking finance these 60, 70. That's the dumbest shit to me that you could ever do. You don't got to pay for the maintenance. Stupid. You do pay for the maintenance. You pay more for maintenance when you're renting a truck than when you own it, because it's baked into the cost. More misinformation. No multi-billion-dollar truck rental company paying for the maintenance is baked into the cost. Truck pays for itself in every asset, every facet. This is why the truck makes money. If they pay for the maintenance, it wouldn't make no money. It's baked into the cost. This is why you pay 20 cents a mile. After you work and then you work overtime, then you work some more. You do side gigs. You do DoorDash, Uber Eats, Amazon Flex. You're bringing in the money that's taking care of your bills, but now you got to build up a nest egg for the business to sustain 6 months, right? Because the learning curve, especially you OTR guys, your learning curve is a little bit more expensive. Why? You got a new authority. Niggas ain't fucking with you. You got to understand your cost per mile, which we see that's a big issue for most people. More competition. You have to be able to sustain that and then sustain the cost of living at home. Rent, mortgage, kids, tuition, car notes, so on and so forth. I got a guy, I'm not going to say his name, but he's from Chicago. He's in my Discord. He just went back to work. He's in the Discord last week with us talking. He said, man, Mark, went back to work. Still got his trucks. Said he had to go back to work, though. So you was right. 1 month, 50,000. 4 trucks, all of them broke down at the same time. OTR, it broke down over the road. See, a breakdown for an OTR guy is different than a breakdown from a local guy. Local guy, I got my local mechanics. I got a local tow. I got my local tow company that I always deal with. OTR, you desperate. You in the middle of nowhere. They know you in the middle of nowhere, and they're going to go upside your head. Then they're going to tell you to a little bitty town with one little bitty mechanic that work on trucks, and he going to go upside your head. Whatever, that's why you rent a truck. Even the person that owns a truck that breaks down in a little bitty town and go upside his head, he's still going to be way more cash flow heavy and profitable at the end of the year than you are. After you stay at your job, work overtime, then do gigs on the side, sell things you don't need. You need money. These were the people who can't absorb the learning curve like a person who can do a full reset, move back in, get rid of everything, and just live on the truck. That individual, you know, they may be able to start with a little bit less than you because they can absorb that learning curve at a way cheaper price than you. But for the individual who can't, start getting rid of some shit. All that Balenciaga and shit that you bought during the goddamn it fucking pandemic that you don't wear no more. All them Alexander McQueens that ain't in style no more. Your Ferragamo belt that you don't wear no more. And take that shit to Poshmark, big dog. Take that shit to the Real. All them consignment shops. Get rid of that shit. eBay. Stop eating out. Stop eating out. Cancel all these subscriptions because you ain't got time for this shit no way anyway. You can't watch Netflix. You working Overtime, man, you doing gigging on the side. You ain't got time to watch Netflix no more. Because what you trying to do is save up money. Now, the amount is going to vary depending on the situation. If you got a household to take care of, you're gonna need. I see you, Leo. I'm gonna hit you when I get off the live. You're gonna need more money versus a person who can live like a Viking. So that number is going to vary. Now, coming into a box truck versus a cargo van business, that number is going to differentiate as well too, because one has a lower cost entry than the other, right? You can get into a cargo van business a lot cheaper than you can get into a box truck business. We did that live stream about a month, 2 months ago. So you go back and watch that one for, how to fully enter into that. All right. So you gotta have a runway. You can't start a business gasping for air. And the unfortunate thing is a lot of people that come into this business, they come in gasping for air at the very beginning. They don't want to be patient. I hate hearing these stories. I know y'all see me post these conversations that when people click the link and call up, but the reason why I clip that shit and post it is because I want people to not end up like these people. The people that call up, they're calling up because they have a story and they don't want other people to end up like them. This shit ain't really going nowhere. No time soon. Certain niches may be infiltrated from automation, right? Certain ones may not, especially the specialty ones. Not right away. There's still some time. So patience is a virtue. Give yourself a fighting chance. If you got not good credit, me honestly, especially if you are a person who has more to sustain on the personal side, like family and things like that, and you can't really draw back all the way and live like a Viking coming into this business, then I would fix that. Now, I saw some shit from a creator and they say, oh, it don't matter, you can get in. I disagree with that. These are the people that go out and then they go to Enterprise, they go to Penske, they go to Ryder, right? Not understanding business, not understanding that traditional banks don't finance used commercial equipment. So then you end up going through one of these hard money lenders, which isn't really a financial institution. It's really just a hard money lender. And this is why you're buying a $60,000 truck and you're paying $110 for it. Or like some of the deals that people have sent me and we've looked at them and we've analyzed them on some of these previous live streams. The guy, we looked at the deal a couple months ago, the truck's $58,000 from Ryder. He's paying $96,000 for it. They're looking at everything. You have no business credit, right? Because you're a new business. So they're it's a hard money loan. You're a high risk. The worse your credit is, the more they screw you. Me personally, I wouldn't even go that route. If you've been watching me, you already know what I say. On the new, cash is king. This is why I'm saying, yo, stay your job, work overtime, get a gig, come in with cash. Eliminate that, because who else you gonna go to? The only other option, you can go get a personal loan from your from your credit union at a lower cost interest rate, right? Loan that money to the business and then have the business pay you back. But then most people that we know that are coming into this business don't have that luxury. Majority of the people that come into this business, believe it or not, their credit score is not that great. A lot of the deals that I see for financing with one of the partners to the channel, most of these people that apply, credit is below 600. This is what I'm saying. I have data and statistics. Below 600. So I would get the credit right on the personal side, pay down utilization, stop applying for random credit. Some of the shit that I see with one of the partners, I don't even know why people are applying for it. That's desperation. The more you apply, now you got all these increase. You know you fucked up. You know your credit fucked up. Why keep applying for shit when you know you're gonna 99% you're gonna not get approved? Why keep putting all these inquiries on your shit? This shit don't make sense. I'm looking at the shit $5.99 and lower, $5.99 and lower, $5.99 and lower. Why? Pay your shit, get your shit back in order, set payment reminders, remove collections if possible. Why? Because financing a used truck with bad credit will destroy you in rates. They're charging you a flat fee on what they want to make on the deal. That's why when you look at a lot of these deals, when we pulled them up, you don't see no interest rate. Okay, let's just pull one up. Let me see if I can find one. Let me see if I can find one. I don't want to put this person's private information on the screen, so let me make sure. All right, let's just take a look. Let me make sure I got everything blacked out. I don't know, you may have to make your phone a little bit bigger. But look at this one. This one was from Ryder, $58,657, $750 some direct cost. I don't even know what the fuck that is. 60 months. Now do the math. Then he put down 2 months. They charge him $1,500 for a documentation fee. Now do the math on this. $1,605.23 times 60 months. That's $90-some thousand on a $58,000 truck. When this person came to me with this, it was a year and some change later when the box truck business wasn't doing good for him. And he wanted me to help him do his books. So I had to dig. First thing, dude, you know, you're paying this, you can't afford this truck. You're paying almost double for this truck. And then they're charging him, when he pays his bill, every month when he pays his note, they charge him, get this shit. When he pays his bill, they charge him $10 to pay them. So his note, $1,605.23 every month, when he pays it, they charge him $10 to pay his bill to them. They getting them all over, across the board. You know why? Desperation, right? Because these are the companies Ryder, Penske, and Enterprise send you to, hard money lenders, because traditional banks don't finance used commercial equipment. And then the worse you are on the personal side, the more they screw you. And most people that come to them are so anxious and desperate to get into this business, they sign anything. I said, you didn't do 1605.23 times 60 before you signed this and went and picked up the truck? No, Mark. So you mean to tell me you looked at this shit? You mean to tell me you looked at this shit? Hold on, let me see if I can blow this shit up. Let me see if I can blow it up a little more. No, because it's a PDF. Hold on, let's see something. I think I can do it like that. We'll do it like that. There we go. Let's do it like this. I got you. I got you. Don't worry about it. Big Mark got you. So you mean to tell me when you looked at this before you signed, you didn't ask no questions? No, Mark. Okay. Because it's just simple math. Would just have me be like, hell no. Hell no. So he had to do a voluntary repo. He was more upset outside the fact that he was failing because he wasn't making the money, he was drowning. But then as I was going through his numbers in his books and I got to this, when I broke this down to him, he felt bad. He did not want to pay almost $100,000 for this truck. He thought he was financing $59,407. He thought that this was the total. They got total financed amount. This is not right. Pull out your calculator and do the math. Pull out your calculator and do the math. $96,313. He was pissed. He was pissed. He said, Mark, I thought I was paying $59,407. I said, no, you're not. You're paying almost $100,000 for the truck. No, Mark. He was just like Justin when Justin called up a month or two ago and he wanted to go back and forth and I had to do the numbers with him. I didn't even see his numbers to tell him that he was at $100,000 in the rear. Just listen to him breaking the numbers down in my head. 1605, 23 times 60, that's almost $100. Because the way they structure the deal, the verbiage, it's not even a finance. They already added what they want to make on top. Nowhere in this contract is an APR. Nowhere. Nowhere. Anybody that's bought or leased a vehicle, bill of sale, second page, right there. Second, third line, boom. 2.9, 4.0, 11 points, 12 points, 12.9. Nowhere in this contract. Plus, he got to pay his bill. Imagine having to pay your bill, but then they charging you $10 just to pay your bill. Hey, get the fuck out of here, bro. This is why you get your shit together before you come into this business. You're fooled. I say this all the time to everybody. People in business, once they see you're ignorant and desperate, they'll prey on you. There's no friends in business. Everybody's looking to eat. Now, for the cargo van guys, you got a little bit different. I'm going to give you the sauce for the cargo van aspect versus the box truck. Use box trucks. If they don't have cash, which I recommend you having, they got to go through one of these types of companies. Cargo van, not necessarily. Why? Because you can go to Chevy, you can go to Ford, you can go to Dodge, you can go to Mercedes, and you can buy a pre-driven used van and still get financed by a traditional bank. That's why I always recommend, listen, if you're going to get a Transit, go to Ford. Find a used Transit at a Ford. Something that's pre-owned, certified. Now you can go through a traditional bank. You're going to go get a Mercedes, go to a Mercedes dealership. Get something that's pre-owned, certified from Mercedes. If you're going to get a Ford Transit or a Ram, go to Ford or go to Dodge. Now you can get finance from a BOA or an Ally or a Bank of America or Wells Fargo. Mercedes, you can get Mercedes-Benz America. You have a better financing option than the used commercial box truck. They got to go through Top Mark and all these other people that's looking to take advantage of them, unless they have cash, which I recommend, or unless they are, they can, they have a credit union, or they can take out a good personal loan with a credit union, loan that money to the business cheaper, right? The points on the dollar on that loan is cheaper. They can loan that money to the business, and the business can pay them back. So this is why you don't want to come in just in financial ruin and bad credit, because this is what's going to happen to you. So let's go into that, starting with the right vehicle. You got to be honest with yourself. Which route you want to go? I think most people probably should go cargo van, honestly, in today's time. I'm just being honest, just based on what I see, the data that I have, the data that I see, the statistics, the conversations that I have. I think most people, cargo van is probably the better way. It's a cheaper cost of entry. The learning curve is cheaper. And if you can successfully run that, you can graduate to a box truck. Not everybody can just jump straight into a box truck. That's just the honest to God truth. Why I think people should start: lower cost of entry, lower insurance, lower maintenance, lower entry costs. The learning curve is a lot easier, and you can supplement it. It's easier to supplement during downturns with a cargo van than it is a box truck. And I think this is a good training ground for most people. The less money you have, the more reasons why you shouldn't jump in with a 26-foot box truck. And if you do come in with a 26-foot box truck, I'm being honest, it needs to be an older truck. And I would recommend you paying it in cash. You do not want to go through one of these hard money lenders. This is not a lifestyle. A lot of your favorite people make the truck a lifestyle when they present it to you and they flex with it. But this shit ain't no lifestyle. Shit is real. The truck is a tool that's supposed to produce income if you know what you're doing with it. It's not a lifestyle. It's not a flex. That's why when I crack jokes on people that flex it. Nigga, if you flexing, you coming in flexing, then I already know where you at with it. It's not a flex. It's a tool to produce income. Here's something else you don't do. Well, a lot of people do. The mindset. A guy called in last week. Did he call in? I think he called into the show last week. Or did he come in the Discord? I think he called in. Bought the cargo van to do gig work. Then he called in. Then realized that it wasn't what he thought it was when he was in the Discord. Had to go back to work. Bought the cargo van to do dolly and then realized it wasn't what he thought it was, ended up having to go back to work. A gig app is a supplemental thing. Box truck and or cargo van. Roadie, Curry, all supplemental. The apps will tell you that shit. These are not foundations. Why? Because you can't build on them. I know some people will tell you that, but find me one person that got a fleet running on Roadie. Find me somebody that got a fleet running on fucking, goddamn it, Uber Eats or some shit like that. Can't. A business is something that should be able to be scaled. If you can't scale it, it's not a business. That's why they don't tell you it's a business. That's why they don't say, hey, come help. Let us help you build your business on Roadie. No, they say, hey, looking for extra money, already going in this direction, turn on this app. We may have something going in the same direction to help cover the cost of the travel in that direction. It's marketed to you as a supplemental tool. The people who think they can fight the system and out-hack the system, these are the people, the same people that you see come back with their head down. If you could out-hack the system or you can think mathematical equations from coding and coding developers, the last thing you would be doing is starting a goddamn cargo van or a box truck business. You would be in Palo Alto fucking coding for $1 million a year. What is we talking about? Your ass would not be up here trying to start a goddamn. If you could outsmart the fucking algorithm on Roadie and all this shit to beat it, the last thing you would do is be trying to start a goddamn cargo van. You would be in Palo Alto making a gazillion dollars coding. It's not a foundation. Now, what you can use some of these apps to do outside of supplementing, you can learn dispatching with them. You can learn routing. You can learn customer interactions, how to, better your customer interactions. This is something that we talked about. You dig what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't know how to talk. So this is a great tool where you can get paid and better yourself. You can generate filler revenue because it's a supplemental thing. It's not something that you can build on. Stop letting these people send you off. Because in order to build a business, especially the people with the mindset they want, building means multiple, means scale. You're going to have a relationship with 3PLs. You're going to have a relationship with direct shippers. You're going to have final mile relationships. You're going to have direct consumer relationships if you're getting into something that like household goods. The app is the buffer between you and all those people that I just mentioned. They're the liaison. They're the buffer. They're in between. One truck, one van. That's all you need. You got to master it first. This whole mindset of 2 and 3 initially, no. That's why we see everybody that tries that, they fail, right? Because they don't know how to do 1 yet, right? Or we see people over and over again, they get 1, they're struggling with 1, so they think the problem, they think solving the problem is going to get another one. And I know you guys have been watching me forever. You hear me say this all the time. I still can't understand why people think that. If you're failing in 1 truck, why do you think, okay, well, if I go get a second one, then this is where the money gonna come from? If you didn't figure the first one out, how the fuck you think the second one is just gonna make money? You're just gonna duplicate whatever it is you got going on with the first one. I don't understand it. We had a lady literally do that 4 times to the point where she went broke and was crying tears in my Discord. And I'm just sitting there listening to her cry. And she expected me to like have feelings. I don't have any feelings. There's no feelings there. Why would you fucking, like, if you failing in the first, you go get a second. The second is doing what the first is doing. You thought third was going to be the lucky charm. Now you're failing. Now you're failing with you got to master one truck. And then you duplicate. Whatever the first truck is doing, the second truck is going to duplicate whatever the first truck is doing. Your first truck has to be profitable. It needs to be profitable. You need to master it, and it needs to be profitable for 6 to 12 months before I would even consider scaling. Right? Because your first time where you see a profitable month, you want to make sure it's not a fluke. Economic upturn, seasonality, because you could still be not understanding cost, but something can happen where, something happens in the economy and it just absorbs your ignorance, like the pandemic. There were so many people that were successful during the pandemic because the rates were just so exorbitant that it just absorbed their ignorance. There was a lot of people that were operating during the pandemic that were profitable, that didn't understand their costs, didn't know their cost per mile, didn't know shit until the market corrected itself, and then trucking became trash to them, right? It was just the rates were so high because of the volume that it just absorbed everybody's ignorance. So you want to make sure that after that first successful month, you get another one, you get a third, you understand, okay, now I understand. We're constantly profitable for 6 to 12 months. The opportunities are there. Okay, now we can successfully look at possibly maybe going out and purchasing another truck. We have the cash flow, consistent cash flow. We have the money on the back end. Now we can do it. You want stability, not height. Numbers. We know 98.7% of the people in this space don't know their numbers. How do we know it? The data, statistics, they say it. Ask a person what's their cost per mile, they don't know it. Majority don't know it. They can't tell you what it costs them to operate their truck. They can't tell you what to operate their business. They can't tell you what their profit margin is. You ask them what a P&L is, they don't know. So most of these people that are your peers in this space are really just gambling. They're not running a business, they're gambling. And the time is ticking. They on the clock. So it's a mindset thing. You have to make sure you have the right mindset. You can't skip steps. You can't finance ego, which is a lot of people are doing. You can't move faster than your discipline will allow. The broke version of you cannot handle fast money. Who you are as a person before you come into business, your mindset has to shift. It has to. You have to shift from whoever it is that you are as a person to a business person. And what I've learned since I've been doing this content, right? Most people can't. Most people can't be disciplined. Most people can't exercise patience. Most people can't make well-informed decisions. Most people don't want to take the time to understand and become financially literate, which will prevent them from making decisions like this. So for everybody that's looking to come into this business in 2026, especially around now, because like I said, this is the time, where the most ignorant starts to flood in. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not really that the interest isn't really there. There's people coming in right now on tax season, but this is the lowest amount of interest in as far as tax season of new entrants coming in that I've seen since I've been creating in this space for the past 4 years. It keeps going down and down and down. Obviously, we know why. Cost of living and just, the cost of entry. It's just not popularized like it used to be. I mean, you got people that are trying to popularize it for their best interest so they can sell you courses and products and shit like that. But for the most part, most people, even with that minimum barrier, like how I used to go back and forth and debate people on the 5,000, the 3,700, or like this guy was saying last month or 2 months ago, you can start with $1,000. This shit is cap, bro. If you think you can start a trucking business with $1,000, I'll give you 30 days. I give you 30 days. And it ain't hate, it ain't shade. I just understand that business, you need working capital. You can't survive without it. If I start something, I'm starting something to win. I'm not going to take my hard-earned money and invest into something and lose it. If the only thing that I got to do is be disciplined, be patient, educate myself, be diligent, save up some money. If I'm coming in the way most people want to come in, you could come in like me from humble beginnings and just work your way up. I think the humble beginning way is starting with what you have and just grow from there. Most people don't want to do that. Why? Take too long. But does it really? I don't think so. I think the people that start from humble beginnings, everybody, not even me, everybody that I've come across that has started from humble beginnings are the people that survive. Humble beginnings is working with what you have, coming in at very low entry level. There's opportunities that you can do in a car. If you got to start with gigs to learn the industry with your personal vehicle and work your way up, save, maybe get a cargo van, then work your way through there, go through all the tumultuous, the learning curve and the ups and the downs, the ebbs and the flows there, save, and then graduate to a box truck and so on and so forth, then that's what you got to do. It's the people that come in way up here that I see they just fall by the wayside. The person who starts from humble beginnings and work their way up, they're learning as they grow. By the time they get here, they have the acumen to sustain here. The person that comes in from nothing and starts up here, they missed all of this teaching and learning and understanding and learning curve at a fraction of the cost. The higher you come in, the more expensive the learning curve is. But if you start from humble beginnings and you work your way up, time is it? 2:51. I'll probably take a call or two, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here for the day. Phone number is on the screen if anybody want to call in. I'm gonna keep the calls to a minimum today because I got some stuff I got to do. 312-772-5483. 312-772-5483. 312-772-5483. Probably gonna put the timer on. Can't sit and talk for a long time. Hold on. Phone line is on. My bad. I thought it was on. It's on now. It's on now. My bad. Hello.
on now. My bad.
Okay. The like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. 312-772-5483. Whoever that was called in, you hung up. I heard you had the TV on in the background. Looks like a Milwaukee call. 414. That's Milwaukee, right? 414 area code. Ain't that Milwaukee? 312-772-5483. We're gonna set the timer too. Doop. We don't get no calls in 5 minutes. I'm out. Hello.
Hello, is this Mark?
What up?
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's the deal?
Man, I'm trying to get some information, man. I appreciate all you do for people, man. My name is James. I'm in Houston, Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm kind of new to the box truck and cargo van world. I don't have a lot of funds. I just seen the live that you just posted. Now I'm just trying to get some more information on the transportation world and how to start out.
Yeah.
But I have been driving, doing a lot of courier work, but it just seems to be oversaturated here in Houston. Like a lot of the medical courier and just a lot of courier work is just hard to get good paying courier work. So just trying to get some direction as where to go. So I just thought I'd reach out to you.
So when you say direction, I mean, give me an idea. What are you trying to do? What do you got? What type of vehicle? What are you doing?
I'm just using my own vehicle. I've done a few small courier things. Like I had a small little medical contract, but I got out of it. It wasn't paying that much. So right now I'm just doing, just small, normal delivery stuff, like, food delivery, catering stuff. Just small basic stuff out of my vehicle right now.
Okay. So what you asking me? Should you get a cargo van? I'm trying to figure out what you want me to.
Well, I was just wondering, do you know much about? I've heard you say before, if you're in cities like, I know you're in Chicago, but New York, Chicago, LA, Houston, you shouldn't go over the road. From what I heard you say.
I mean, if you're in a big populated city, like Houston is the 4th largest city in the country. Right. So what's the population down there? 2.4, 2.5, some shit like that. What is it?
Yeah, it's up there.
You in Houston, right? You in Houston?
Yeah.
So what's the population?
I don't know offhand, but
that's a problem.
I know it's up there.
That's a problem. See, that's a problem right there. You should know your market. You asking me about courier work, you should know your market. You should understand your market. The first thing, is it dense? Okay, what's the population? So that you can understand if the opportunity is there.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's why I'm reaching. I just looked it up. It's 2.3 million. So I know it's the 4th largest.
Okay, so 2.3 million. And you want to stay in the carrier field, right?
Not necessarily. I would like to stay local, but like I said, I've just been following you the last couple of weeks, and I've heard you say, in the larger cities, you shouldn't have to go over the road because there's so many opportunities. But I'm just saying, it just seems to be somewhat oversaturated. Even from people that I've talked to locally, it's just hard to get contracts because it seemed like ever since the pandemic, it seemed like the industry, of course, exploded. And it just seems like it's just hard to get a lot of different opportunities.
I mean, here's the thing. There's always going to be competition, right? And I mean, when you say hard, it sounds like you have an opportunity now. So I'm trying to, if you have an opportunity now and you're working on, what are you looking to get that you're having a hard time getting?
Well, I was looking to get into the cargo van thing. And to get into that business is what I was looking to get into. But it's just like I started following you, and it's one or two other guys around the city that I know, and they're in the market, and they're saying the same thing. It's just hard to get the higher paying contracts.
Okay, what's the higher paying contracts in your market?
to my knowledge, like some of the medical courier world.
Okay, but see, you're complaining about it's hard to get them, so that means you should know what they are. And when you tell me, that lets me know you don't know what they are. So
I'm saying based on out of using my vehicle, it's been hard from a lot of
but you want to get a cargo van, right?
Yeah, that's what I was looking into.
Right, so you want to get higher paying opportunities in a cargo van, right?
Yeah, I'm not specifically holding it to a cargo van. I'm just saying in transportation world, period. Just an opportunity to make more money.
Okay,
whether if it's in my vehicle or cargo.
What's more money? What's more money?
I mean, $1,500 a week at minimum.
So what are you doing now?
Just different courier work.
Okay, how much are you grossing now?
Anywhere from 700 to 1,000.
How old are you?
35.
You're 35?
Yeah.
So 1,500 is about average for a dedicated contract in a cargo van. It's about $300 a day. And that's not higher paying, to be honest. I'm thinking you finna say like 2,000 and up. 1,500 is average.
Oh, absolutely. No.
That's
absolutely.
average.
I want to make as much as possible.
That's just that's 300 a day. That's average. You can get an Office Depot Staples contract doing that.
Yes, sir. I'm just saying on the low end, and it's a couple guys that I know from around the city that they were making around that. They said they were making around that amount, and they're trying to go to the next level as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said.
So the next level would be to honestly to if they want to continue to operate from an owner operator status, that's about average. They're gonna have to start supplementing. If they want to really go to the next level, then they're gonna have to scale. You gotta understand the cargo van business is the gross is gonna be lower than the box truck because the capacity is gonna be lower, but then the profit margin is gonna be a little bit tighter as well. Like when I was doing Office Depot, I was operating 33%, right? But I'm operating at scale. So, and I have a guarantee. See, this is what most of you guys are not going to be able to do. You're going to operate like per piece, right? So your profit margin is going to be minimal. So the way you're going to make your money is you're going to have to make it at scale until you get into a position where you have leverage and you can become a master contractor. And depending on the terminal that you're in, if you have leverage, you could possibly negotiate a guarantee. Guarantees are, far and few between, but you got to have leverage.
So how do you go about learning your market or learning what's what in your market?
Research.
Okay. And so just simply just Google or like what?
No,
what?
It just doesn't stop at Google. It starts at Google, but sometimes you have to get out in the field. Go to some of these 3PL, these terminals. Ask to speak to the operations supervisor for certain contracts. At what contracts do they have for cargo vans? Ask to speak to these people. It's going to be hard getting them on the phone. Sometimes you got to get out in the field and do the legwork. When you see other cargo van operators delivering, ask them questions. Yo, who are you running through? Where are they located out of? Okay, so this is all research. The Google is going to give you surface level shit, right? But you have to continue to dig deeper. If I were you, I would start pulling up at some of these 3PLs and seeing if I can get an operations supervisor to come out, or even the desk person. The person at the front desk can probably answer questions for you.
Okay. Can I ask you one more thing? In terms of the industry from like populated cities like Chicago, New York, LA, Houston, have you been hearing people say that it seems like it's becoming oversaturated at all or not?
People have been saying that since the pandemic. But here's the thing. So what? Everything is oversaturated, especially now with this whole mindset of being your own boss. It means you just have to compete. Here's the thing. The way you're looking at it from an independent owner operating a cargo van. You're going to have to work harder, right? Because your profit margin is going to be smaller. Your gross income due to the capacity of the type of vehicle you got is going to be lower. So that 300 on average that you're getting, if you want to continue to operate from a solo owner operator perspective, that can't be enough to sustain the business and your cost of living. You dig what I'm saying? So you're going to have to do more. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to go out and start to supplement that shit. And then obviously scaling is going, later on down the line is what's going to be able to bring in more revenue. But you got to understand the margins are real small. Now there's things that you can do with a cargo van that are more specialized that bring in more revenue, but you may not want to do those things because it's going to require more physical labor.
Mm-hmm.
You can do a lot of your fitness equipment contracts like Peloton. You can do in a cargo van because you're only doing like 3-4 stops a day.
Mm-hmm.
Go configure. These are things that you're gonna have to do some lifting, and some assembly work.
Okay.
Those specialized opportunities pay you more, but it's more physical work.
Okay.
You can go over the road if you want, but like the guys that I know that do expedited OTR, they're gone. And they drive. Their driving is way different than the box truck guys because they're not held to the hours of service like the box truck guys. So they're doing expedited. Like, so those guys that's in my Discord that do expedited, they driving 20 some hours straight. I had one guy drive 30 some hours straight. They're not held to the hours of service like the box truck guys are because they're in the cargo van. So, and they're doing expedited. So they running shit in a timely because it's expedited. So,
Oh, I see. Okay. But the pay per mile is usually a lot lower than the box trucks, right?
The cost per mile is lower and the rates are lower too. So there's people that come in with a high cost of entry with a cargo van that can't sustain expedited OTR because the rates are lower. You got to make sure your operation cost is still low if that's what you're going to do as far as cargo van over the road. Because I got guys like D Jenkins, he taking shit at 80 something a mile rate. Not all these expedited dudes are shooting for $1 because their cost per mile is 40 cents, 47 cents. So he looking at 80 some cents. It's double the money for him. He gone. Not everybody is playing this. Like you hear some of these box truck content creators say, don't take nothing less for $2 a mile. That's a content creator that don't know his operation cost. Because a person who understands cost would never tell you no stupid shit like that. Fuck, I'm gonna wait for you for. If my operation cost is $1, I'm just using this as an example, and there's something I see for $1.75. If I'm making 75 cents a mile, what the fuck I'm waiting for $2 for? Because you told me that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You know why a person says that? Because they don't understand business. They don't understand cost. They don't understand competition. That's just a motherfucker who's saying some shit because it sounds good. You have to always keep in mind it's other people out here. They're not conforming to this shit you talking about. Walmart ain't conforming to this shit that the mom and pop general merchandise stores was coming. Yo, we gonna order 3 million units so we can get our unit cost lower so we can sell it cheaper than you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard a lot of content creators say the same thing. So with box trucks, is $2 a mile? Is that really kind of the
bro? Ain't
average?
No standard, bro. No, anybody that tell you it's a standard, that's because they don't understand business. There's no standard. You do what works for you. Fuck them away. If I can operate on a high profit margin at a rate that's paying me $1.60 or $1.70, because let's say I've been in the game 15 years, my equipment is paid off, my operation cost is low. I'm 50 years old and my insurance is low. My costs are way lower than yours because you 28, you went out and bought a fucking truck like I just showed you with a high fucking payment. Your insurance is high. Your whole fucking cost of operation is high, and then your lifestyle is high. You following that shit, and you don't know your cost. You don't understand business. This person, his cost ain't that high. His MVR is clean. His truck is older. He's older. His insurance is low. He has relationships. So what you think is an industry standard because this person told you it's not he's laughing at you.
Man, Mark, I swear this shit's so real, man. It's like, I hate to keep bringing up the pandemic, but it seemed like that's what opened the world up as far as people jumping into this and treating it like a hustle. But it's like everybody started jumping into this shit, but it's so much information that everybody didn't know. You know what I mean?
That's bullshit. That's an excuse. If you jumped into something that you didn't understand, then that's your fault. Don't invest in the things that you don't understand.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
So, you know what we look at seasoned business people with business acumen, you just fool. This is what I'm telling you. If you don't want to educate yourself, then that's on you. It's business.
Yeah.
It's not as cut and dry as people make it out to be. It's not.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
If I understand that there's a high level of ignorance in this industry, which it is, especially box truck, because the barrier to entry is lower, then you have to operate with the understanding that your peers in this space are fucking ignorant. They don't know that cost, which is contributing to cheap freight, the lower rates, right? So you have to understand and compete with that in mind.
For sure. Man,
so instead of, and I would look at that shit as, all right, bet this is my competition. Only thing I need to do is continue to educate myself, be disciplined, understand and know my cost, and I'm winning. It's really simple when you look at the grand scheme of things. The majority of the people don't do any of this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, everybody just see the shit on YouTube. Everybody see, you know what I'm saying? Everybody see niggas on YouTube promoting, you know what I'm saying? Start a box truck, cargo van business, you know what I'm saying? Make 20 a month or whatever, and then niggas jump into it, and you find out it ain't all sweet like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so I mean, you just got to do your research, and you have to have an understanding of what you invest in, bro. Nothing in business is. If something was too good to be true, then everybody would be doing it, right?
For sure.
And out of all my years of being in logistics, there was only a year and a half where this shit was too good to be true. And guess what? Everybody was doing it.
And you talking about from the pandemic?
Yeah, that was the only time it was too good to be true. And the reason I'm saying it was too good to be true because an idiot could be successful. The reason why people were successful was because you didn't have to know your cost because the rates were so exorbitant. So because of the high volume and the high rates, it absorbed your ignorance. The moment the market started to correct itself, that's when you seen people start to fall by the wayside because the fundamentals, they didn't have them. One of the main one was cost. A person could come in very ignorant, not know they cost, and still make money during that time period because of this black swan event that we now know that was a pandemic, was a black swan event.
But then when the market regulates and come back down to normal, all the outsiders get kicked, or they get kicked to the outside.
There's no such thing as the outsiders got kicked. The ignorance fell by the wayside. A person that would have came in during the pandemic and understood what they were investing in, they would have understood that what they were investing in, that they were in a bubble, and that eventually the bubble was going to burst. So what they would have did was they would have taken advantage of that opportunity, put all that money to the side, and prepared for what was about to come, which was the correction. Because now they're going to have to relearn in a normal market. That market wasn't normal.
Wow.
It's just like buying homes after the housing market crash.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to buy a house, a single family home or 2 or 3 flat for what you were able to buy them for in 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
That was a once in a lifetime opportunity. And if you had cash on hand at that time, you're a real estate millionaire today.
For sure.
If you knew what you were investing in coming into the game, because see, the people like me that was already I was in this industry 10 years prior to the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I already knew what was going on.
Yeah.
I understand business. I understand economics. I understand it from a macro level. I understand it from a micro level. I understand what was going on. Was it sustainable? Was going to last? I understood it was a bubble. You can go look at my content. I wasn't the one preaching that shit in 2022. I was telling people there's a bubble and it's going to burst. And motherfuckers was saying I was this, that, and third and was making fun of me. And I didn't know because everybody was in euphoria because of all the money that they was making.
Yeah.
And then it bust.
Yeah.
And I said everything that's going on now is going to go on now.
Mm.
So you have to be able to forecast and understand what you're investing in.
For sure.
If you don't understand it, yeah, you're going to be just like the majority of people that come in. They think it's okay. I get an authority. I download a load board. I see 1,500. I run it for 1,500 because I never made 1,500 in one whop. We have motherfuckers coming in that's running from New Jersey to fucking California. They're just looking at a gross number, not understanding what the cost is.
And that's another thing. When you start a new authority, it's hard to get the loads because the brokers and a lot of the brokers don't trust you with a new authority. Is that right?
That's part of mastering the learning curve and making sure you have enough working capital to sustain while you're maneuvering through the learning curve.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's just like opening a business, a restaurant. Nobody's going to come in your restaurant, especially if it's a niche restaurant, family owned. It's maybe not something like that's franchised that everybody just knows. You got this niche restaurant that you open up in the community. Motherfuckers got to come in, try it, food reviews. The food review guys got to come in and do the little TikToks to generate interest. So you might understand, I'm opening this restaurant the first 3 to 6 months, maybe the first year, we may not generate enough revenue for profitability to be profitable. But any person that's invested into a business that really understands business knows this. I don't understand why so many people that come into this business thinking that the moment they come in, they out of there. It's people that's in this business that you competing with that's been doing this shit for 10, 15, 20 years whose operation cost is way lower than yours. So you just forgot about the competitors? You think it's enough to go around, nigga, especially if you OTR? You think you the only person that's looking at this load? The broker, it's not an auction. The broker the price ain't going up. They trying to sell this shit for the cheapest buyer. They selling it low. They trying to sell it for the cheapest so that they can make more on the back end. So if you on the new and you ignorant and your cost is high because you came in with a higher operation cost and I call in 15-year vet, my truck a 2010, my insurance $700 a month, my truck been paid for. I live on my motherfucking truck. You telling them you can take it for $2, I'm saying fuck it, run it for $1.60. I'm just throwing numbers out there. Do I give a fuck about you and your cost? Because you went to Top Mark and they got your ass for a $60,000 truck and you finna pay $110 for it? And that you paying $2,200 a month for insurance? And that you trick off and send your money to a Bernard on the weekend? You dig what I'm saying?
Man, you spitting game, man.
And all this other goofy shit? Nah. Nigga, I'm about this money shit. Fuck it. Nigga, that's a 30% profit margin. I'm gone. You see what I'm saying? Crazy. So it ain't, it's a load on the load board. There's plenty of competition out here that's not as ignorant. You got some old motherfuckers out here too, like Buddy that went and bought that $400,000 truck a year and a half ago. So it's some old motherfuckers out here that ain't got their shit together too. Yeah. You dig what I'm saying? So it's business at the end of the day.
Yeah, I just feel like when the pandemic hit, everybody seen it as a hustle, as a little come up.
Hey man, the pandemic was a blessing. It is how you look at it. It's perspective, big dog. It was motherfuckers during the pandemic that got that money. A few minute people that did right by it. Majority of them didn't. It's all perspective, big dog. It's all how you look at shit.
Oh, for sure. I'm saying I see both ways. I see the positive. I see the negative too. You know. Yeah, well, for sure, I'm with you.
So, but yeah, majority of the people, unfortunately, especially our community, we didn't, you know.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's what it is, big dog. You know, you know. But no, I don't. I think now we in a time where shit's saturated because more people want to do things instead of work traditional jobs, and just anything where there's a low barrier to entry, like a cargo van or a box truck business. More people are going to flood into it because everybody wants to be their own business. You can start an electrician firm. You can start a plumbing company. But guess what? There's a barrier to entry there. You got to be licensed. You got to go become an apprentice. You may have to become a journeyman. That's going to take some time, right? It's not something that you can do instantaneously, right?
Yeah.
The barrier to entry is higher. You can go get a box truck or a cargo van business like that when you just need to get a few little dollars.
Yeah, for sure.
So anything in today's times where the barrier to entry is low, more people are going to flood to it.
Yeah.
Now, there's things that you can do with a box truck and a cargo van that are more specialized, but more specialty comes with what? More work. People don't want to do more work. OTR is more simpler than household goods. Motherfucker don't want to lift shit. Cool.
Yeah.
Final mile. You got to lift shit. You got to sweat day in, day out. Heavy shit all day. Motherfucker don't want to do that shit. It's not oversaturated over there. So ask yourself, why is other things that you can do with the same equipment not saturated, but this one niche is? It's less workload. You can make way more money over here. Nobody wants to do it because it's way more workload.
So would you say that OTR is just as saturated as local? I know it depends on the market.
OTR is going to always be saturated because it's less workload. I just told you that.
Okay. Well, I was looking from the standpoint because I know a lot of people. It seemed like even most cats that's OTR, they would rather be home with their families.
But they don't want to do the work that's associated from a local perspective.
Got you. So that's what makes
and then or they're not in a market where they can do dock to dock work, and they don't live in a market where there's a plentiful amount of dock to dock work like a Chicago or New York. See, here you can stay local as a trucker and make great money locally. Like I said, my homies, they drive semi trucks. They local. They do intermodal. We the hub. We the capital for intermodal. They just move fucking containers from one rail yard to another rail yard all fucking day. But the opportunity is here because we in Chicago. Houston ain't going to have that type of opportunity from a local level, right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So market depending. If a motherfucker could make $2,500 to $3,000 a week locally as a semi-truck driver and be sleeping their bed every day, then they would.
Yeah.
But if their market doesn't have the work, then they can't. So then they're forced by the process of, not process of elimination, but they're forced because the opportunity don't exist there into having to do other things. A person who lives in rural America who wants to start a box truck or a cargo van business, who lives in rural middle America, they're not going to be able to do household goods. They're not going to be able to do final mile. They're not going to be able to do Amazon relay. They live in a town with 7,000, 10,000 people, and the nearest main city is 3-4 hours away. The only thing they can do is either relocate to that major city or go OTR. If they want to do local work, they got to relocate three hours to the main town or to the main city. Or they're going to have to go OTR because the small, rural, middle America they live in, like a lot of these truckers that you see, these older middle American truckers, a lot of them, they own homes in the middle of nowhere. Why? Because they can pull their rig right up and park it right on their land. They fine with living in the middle of the country, and they cool with that. They OTR people. If you want to stay local and you live in the middle of nowhere, You can't, there's no local opportunity, so you forced to go over the road. You know how many people have purchased equipment watching content creators and then realized once they got the equipment, what they thought they was going to do, they realized they couldn't do it? You realize how many people have called into this show or come into my Discord and say, hey, Mark, I bought a box truck because I wanted to do this, or I bought a cargo van because I wanted to do that. And now I'm trying to apply and I don't see nothing. I'll be like, where you live at? Oh, I live in Booms, fuck Arkansas. Booms, fuck Arkansas. 22,000 people. Well, where's the nearest Amazon? Oh, it's about 3 hours away. Well, you didn't research this before you did it? No. Well, what can I do? Because ain't nothing around here. You want to move 3 hours away, or you gonna have to go OTR. There was a guy that called up last summer, black bald head guy from Texas. He stay in one of them small towns in Texas. Go back through the content. He on the thumbnail. He a dark black bald guy. Same situation. Bought the van, didn't realize he understand that he lived in a small market, called in. That's the only thing you can do is go OTR. Well, I don't want to go OTR. I got a family. Well, you didn't research this before you? No.
Man, it's crazy out here, bro. You on point, dog, for real. Like you really speaking game for real. Like I said, man, I ain't trying to be redundant with the shit, but it just seemed like once the pandemic hit, like niggas seen the opportunity and everybody jumped on it, and like I said, it's one side to where it's a lot of motherfuckers that made it come up, and then some niggas fell by the wayside. You know what I'm saying?
Pandemic
and
been over 3 years, big dog. Well, 4 years.
Yeah, for sure.
But people still making the same bad decisions. So we can't use the pandemic as an excuse anymore. The mindset of the mentality of most people changed during the pandemic because the pandemic offered people from all walks of life an opportunity to sit at home and still make money. It wasn't just black people that was sitting at home making money. You had corporate American people that had to go in every day that now working from a laptop while they in Cancun. And just doing this every 20 minutes to make it seem like to the computer that they was doing some shit. Those people don't want to work either anymore. It's just people don't want to work, right? People want to have more resources, money, with doing less. So starting a business, which was once way back before the pandemic, was something that you seen most business owners were more esteemed, established people of stature. And people are chasing that today. But the difference is then the people that were starting businesses way before the pandemic understood what they're investing in because the entry level was a lot different then than it is now. The mindset of starting a business, everybody has that because what most people have been conditioned from influence, be your own boss. Stop working, stop the plantation and all this, that, and the third. What people are failing to realize in 4 to 5 years, a job is going to be a privilege. And they're going to wish they had one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the reason I say the pandemic, like I said, it's good and bad to it. But the reason I say the pandemic, because it seemed like it opened up this world that people didn't know nothing about. I know I didn't know anything.
What world are you talking about?
In terms of opportunities for cargo van, box truck, because the whole world was shut down. So
the opportunity existed before the pandemic. See, that's
I know, but I'm saying it really exploded.
You know what I find, and you know what I call that? A person that's following a trend.
That's my point.
And anybody that follows a trend, you're going to get what trend followers get. Left holding the bag. Here's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. So
this industry existed before the pandemic, bro.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just saying it became popular during the pandemic because it was one of the few industries that started booming.
And what do we say about popularity? When something gets popular, then what?
It's gonna fall off.
You new to the channel, so I know you. I'm just testing your business acumen. When something gets popular, what?
What goes up is gonna come back down.
The real money already been made.
Yeah, oh, for real. Yeah, for sure.
If something is trending to the point where it has become popular and mainstream, the real money has already been made.
Yeah, you missed the move. Yeah, for sure.
Listen, I gave an analogy about a week or two ago. When I heard like phone them and shit talking about stocks and shit in 2020 and, oh man, you gotta get these weed stocks and these stocks and shit like that, I knew the fucking shit was coming to an end. A lot of the companies were overvalued during that time because of the money that was stimulating the economy. So a lot of people were investing into stocks and crypto. It was gambling. So everything was exorbitant. I made a lot of money on companies that were way overvalued. But once I heard people who in normal times, the last thing they would be talking about is investing in a stock or something, that was an indicator that it has become trendy and that we're at the top. It's time to start exiting. And soon as and a week or 2 weeks later, the market started to correct itself. That's an indicator of a top. It's just like we can go from housing market, any fucking market, trucking, stock, crypto. Look at the sneaker market. It's dead now.
Yeah.
Look what happened.
Yeah.
Look what happened to the sneaker market.
Yeah, for sure.
It's dead now. People ain't buying $10,000 Yeezys no more. That shit's sitting. All them sneaker resellers, they crying and complaining and going out of business.
Hey, it's just the same like shit you said with the real estate. Like everybody was moving, 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, everybody moving from up north to Atlanta, to Houston, to Dallas.
And them houses, my understanding, ain't as cheap as they used to be down there no more.
Oh, hell no.
Mm-hmm.
You could get a crib 3,000 square feet for shit, 150, 175. Nah, they 400.
Right.
They double.
Right. Because a lot of people from the north have flooded down there for
sure.
a lower cost of living. You get more house for cheaper, and y'all tax different and shit like that than up here. It costs a lot of money to live up here, right? So you get more, but now that shit is, it's not like that no more.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's any market. You have to understand the markets that you in. When people are greedy, you should be fearful. When people are fearful, you should be greedy. There's always indicators in every market. If once you understand business and you start to understand economics and you just understand it, you know the indicators. Whether you play in the stock, crypto, housing market, trucking market, sneaker market, markets are markets. You will know the indicators. Yo, it's time to maybe reevaluate this investment. Maybe it's time to exit out of that and move this shit over here.
So what's happening in this game is, basically what you're saying is niggas is coming in the game with $300,000 trying to buy a crib in LA, but you ain't gonna get shit in LA for $300,000.
You got people that's renting RV parking spots in LA for $2,500. You're right. It's motherfuckers. I'm researching what's going on out in LA. Why so many people living on the side of the road and on the expressway in RVs. They went to a RV place a lot where you can park your RV. They charging $2,500 to rent the RV parking spot to live on the land in your RV.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so the housing market is, you got BlackRock and a lot of financial investment firms that are buying up all the single family homes and apartment buildings across the country, and they're just raising the rent. See, they paying cash. They're not paying in financing, so they're not really concerned with the current cost. And then they just upping the rent. Eventually they're gonna keep buying and just pretty much price people out. People ain't gonna be able to afford to live because they're not gonna be making enough with the rate of inflation and the cost of living to be able to afford to either buy a house or pay rent.
And you know what, Mark? It really fucked the game up too, because it's like a lot of the content creators, I know they hustling trying to make their shit, but they not doing like you doing. And I ain't just saying this because you're on the phone, but they not giving you the game. You know, they telling you the entry cost, but they ain't telling you
because you are the lick.
Oh, for sure.
So
that's my point.
So here's the thing. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yep. And
This information, most of them they ain't gonna give you this information anyway because they don't have this acumen.
Yeah.
Right. And if they did, they would definitely package it up. But then you question, do you really got it? Because if it did, you wouldn't mind just passing it along.
Yeah, for sure.
You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's just, you know.
Man, dog, I ain't mean to keep you this long, but man, I sure appreciate it, dog, for real. Appreciate it. And I know it's a gang of other niggas that really appreciate what you do, man, for real. Because I know you don't have to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I kick it with y'all a couple times a week. You know what I'm saying? It's, you got to give back. You know, it's a few motherfuckers out here that want to listen. That's younger. That's coming up, and that's what you got to do. We have to, you know, give back. You know, the unfortunate thing is, majority of the people that consume it still aren't going to apply it. That's the sad thing.
Yeah.
You know, because even with knowledge, there's still some level of application that has to come behind that, right? You have to apply what you learn. It's just not the knowledge is one thing, but there's an application. You still have to apply it. And most people don't want to go out and apply it because everybody wants instant gratification now. So.
Yeah. Definitely, man. Like I said, man, I appreciate you, dog, for real.
All right, dog, man. Be safe out here.
All right, bro. Hey, Mark. Hey, I can stay connected to you. You got a Discord, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I can just connect with you through that?
Yeah, I'm using the Discord maybe once or twice a week. I mean, there's other people in the Discord, but I usually jump in a call. I'll do like a general chat. I'll come in the general chat once or twice a week. But when I come in, there'll be like a notification that'll go out. So you'll know when I'm in there. It won't be like, oh man, Mark, I missed you. A notification will go out when I come in there. It's usually once or twice a week. And it's random. It's not like I might jump in at 10, 11 o'clock at night. I might jump in at 9 in the morning. It all depends on, you know, when I'm free and when I got time to a lot. Okay, because the thing with the Discord is shit, like it's a little bit more advanced because people feel a little bit more comfortable divulging their personal information. So, you know, it may be a little bit more I don't want to say intense, but I have to make sure that I have the time available, even though I can do Discord and kind of still work out and move about because it's an app. I still have to be mentally available to give the attention. So I do it when I know I can focus on the people that are coming into the chat and whatever quorums they may have in their business.
Okay, bet. All right, bro. Appreciate you, dog.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Man, I gotta go, man. Somebody called 1 million times. Man, who was this 414 call? Y'all, you called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, big dog. Milwaukee. What you got to talk about that you called 4, 5 times and you see I'm on the phone? I'm gonna let Milwaukee call. I'm gonna give Milwaukee 10 minutes, then I gotta go. This ain't Milwaukee. Somebody beat you to the punch, so it's a wrap. Yo.
What's up, man? This Mark?
Yeah.
What's up, Mark? How you doing, man?
What's going on?
What's up, man? So I'm located in Orlando, Florida. I've been running since I started my business May of 2023. Kind of started on a whim, kind of contrary to what you would, advise. But to this point, I've been successful. I've been doing final mile. I've been running the same contract since October of 2023. And now, after gaining some experience and trying to find ways to, grow the business, I was actually thinking about transitioning into moving. But My dilemma is I'm still, running that contract, which is Tuesday through Saturday. So I would really only have Sunday and Monday to kind of ease into an experiment, with the moving. So the company I'm contracted with, we actually lease the truck through them. So we pay $80 a day for the truck and $52 a day for the insurance. So that is, pretty decent rate.
This for a 26-footer?
26-footer, yes.
For final mile, you said $80 a day for the truck and $52 a month a day for the insurance?
Yeah, it averages out to about $2,600 a month.
Insurance to?
Excuse me?
Who you paying your insurance to?
Oh, so I pay directly through the company, so it's their truck.
Yeah,
so
SCI Open Force?
No, so I pay it. It's their insurance policy, so they just take it out of our settlement. So I don't. It's not a policy that I've taken out. So they just take it out of our settlement.
Who do they use? Do they use SCI? Who pays you? SCI Open Force?
No, so I'm contracted directly with the company, with the store. So I'm not. There's no 3PL.
Store.
It's the furniture store itself. It's a regional furniture store.
What's the name of the store?
It's called Haverty's.
Okay, so that store rents the truck for you?
No, so they own a fleet of trucks, and there's some that they lease from Penske. The newer ones they lease from Penske, but all that's facilitated through them, and they just take the money out of our settlement. We're actually not even allowed to use our own truck. So when I first got on with them, that's their system. You pay them for the truck.
Whose authority?
Excuse me?
Whose authority?
Their authority. So I actually, when I got with them, I deactivated my authority.
So 1099 or W-2?
1099.
Who pays for the fuel?
We pay for the fuel. I pay for my own diesel.
So it's their authority.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying. Their charge is their truck.
Their truck.
They're renting you their truck with their authority.
Correct. We use their authority.
You pay for the expense. You don't pay for the you pay for the fuel?
Pay for the fuel. They pay for all maintenance. We pay for the fuel. We pay for DEF. We pay for tolls. If we damage the truck, like for instance, I hit a tree branch, I had to pay $1,000 deductible for them to repair the truck.
Who pays for the material?
I pay for all my materials, all blankets, ropes. We use their shrink wrap. They have shrink wrap in the warehouse.
What are you generating in revenue gross a week?
Weekly, I can tell you yearly. Weekly, I'm not sure, but I know for 2024.
Been doing this since 2023?
Yeah.
And you can't tell me.
I mean, I can give you like a ballpark.
Oh, slow down. You've been doing it since 2023, and you can't tell me what you gross on average weekly.
Well, when I get the settlement, it's net. When I get the settlement, so it's net. So, for instance, this last paycheck, I grossed about 10.8. It was 10.8 for the last biweekly. They do it it's biweekly, so it was about 10.8, $10,800.
What's your profit margin? What's your operation cost?
Operation cost $2,600 a month for the truck. I'm paying I allocate about $1,000 a check, so about $2,000 a month for fuel. But I spend less than that because I'm running locally. My helper, I pay him $200 a day.
What you gross a month, bro?
Gross a month, I'd say about 20,000 a month.
How much?
About 20,000 a month. I grossed 222,000 for 2025. I'm grossing about 20 or so a month.
You see all that gross shit, that big number shit? That shit don't mean nothing to me, big dog. I want to know what you gross a week.
Well, our settlements are done bi-weekly, but I mean, if I split that roughly 10,000, I'm grossing bi-weekly. I'm grossing about 5,000 a week.
How much okay? So, and how much is it costing you to operate on a week?
Weekly basis, well, $1,300 for the truck in insurance. Oh, I'm sorry, I take that back because it's $2,600 a month. So if I do 2,600 divided by 4, that's about 600. Hold on one second.
That's $650 a week.
So yeah, $650 a week. So about $650 a week for truck and insurance. And then if you do my helper at $200 a day, 5 times 200, that's another $1,000. So $1,650. And let's just say $100 a day on gas, which I don't always, spend $100. So that's another $500 a week in gas. So that puts us around, you know, 2150.
What about insurance?
That's the $52 a day. So that was in that $650.
And what do you
Because it's
average?
$52.
You averaging gross a day? What are you making a day? How do they pay you? Per stop, per route,
So
guaranteed
we
per
get
day?
paid a percentage of the load. So we get paid 3%. So if we have $30,000 worth of furniture on the truck, we get 3% of that 30,000, which is, you know, a little shy of $1,000. So we get paid a percentage of the load.
Wait, they pay you 3%?
3%, correct.
And what's your average load? How much is what are you averaging on a load per day?
It literally it varies. Like, for instance, tomorrow I have $38,000. I know you said average, but you know, tomorrow I have $38,000 on the truck, and then Wednesday I have 22,000. So it does fluctuate, you know, just based on the day. But I am the number one, you know, contractor. Everything is done a metric. It's called a CDP, clean delivery percentage, and that's kind of what the hierarchy is based on. So I get
22,000, you gonna make like 660 that day? Gross?
Yeah, if it's 22,000, that would be 660 that day. Yeah, but that would be kind of on the lower end. I usually have more closer to the 30. Some days, I mean, I've had $70,000 trucks. Well, I'm furnishing an entire home.
Okay.
So it's a good contract. The only issue is it kind of stifles, you know, the growth of the business, because one, you're not able to pay off. In the 2 years I've been there, I would have paid off a truck, you know, if I had my own. However, it also allowed me to learn
So let me explain.
on someone else's.
How many vehicles you running right now? Well, you can only run one.
Yeah, I can only run.
So you said stifle
run one, yeah.
business. So that's why I got to stop you. You don't have a business.
Exactly. No, I understand
You're
that.
pretty much a misclassified employee.
Exactly. There's no autonomy. I'm using their equipment.
You're 100%
No, you're correct.
misclassified. They doing it sneaky by getting you to lease the rent the truck, but I'm willing to bet you didn't sign a lease agreement.
No, there was no. I would have to go back and look at that contract, but no, it wasn't like a lease agreement. No.
What they doing? You're a misclassified employee. So there is no business to scale, bro. You're just a misclassified employee.
Even though I have a registered business, my business is what is. My business receives a 1099. I'm not an hourly employee. I have no benefits. Literally my business, my name isn't on anything. Like, my business is when they send me my EIN number that they use on my tax document, not my social security number.
You can't, you have no say so. You can't even scale it.
Exactly. And that's
finessing. They think they finessing it by renting you the truck. So it's like, oh, well, we own it, but we leasing it to them. But if you went down to the labor board and had a really good argument, they would definitely get hit with a misclassification.
No, exactly. I always say they kind of treat us like, you know, glorified employees. They found a way. They found a way to
misclassified employee. They
found a way. They found a way to make it where they can shift all liability to us. So if we damage the truck, we pay for it. If we damage the customer's home, anything, we pay for it, because, you know, we're 1099 employee or 1099 contractors. And you do make, you know, good money. Maintenance wise, don't have to worry about, you know, any maintenance, things of that nature. So there are some benefits to it until it comes time, you know, to scale. And most of the people in there, they're just happy having that contract, that one route. You know, they're making more money than they ever envisioned making, and they're good. But me personally, and that's why I wanted to purchase a truck on the side, to kind of, you know, start easing into moving, seeing what kind of traction I could build up on that side, because I know ultimately I'm kind of beholden to this company. They literally control everything. And I started this business, to grow it. I had a decent job where I was, making money. So it wasn't my goal to have one contract and that be it. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Is kind of trying to grow that move inside of the business, since I have a good amount of experience with Final Mile. We do a lot of, oftentimes we're delivering to affluent, customers that are, purchasing a lot of furniture. So I've been on delivery jobs where I'm there for 4 or 5 hours. We're literally we have one stop that day with $60,000 worth of furniture. We're doing 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, dining room, formal living room, the family room, the office. We're doing, so I do feel like I have, the endurance. I know how to, wrap, load.
What's your question?
So I feel like.
What's your question?
So with a 16-foot box truck, do you feel like I would still have a large enough customer base? Like I wouldn't be ruling out or eliminating a lot of. I'm in Orlando, so there's about
I would
little over 2 million
starting
people
with a 16-footer because I think learning is still key. You've done final mile. It's just like I said the other day. I literally did a live stream. I talked about this the other day. If you would have started moving and diversified to final mile, 100%. You know everything. Final mile into moving, no, there's still a lot that household goods don't know. Household goods to final mile, because you done touched everything, seen everything in every single type of situation that you can see. You done seen the same dresser in 10 different types of settings, from a bungalow to a ranch to a raised ranch to a Georgian to a bi-level to a 2-flat to a 3-flat to an elevator to an old crankshaft elevator to a new high-rise. You've seen this same type of item in a multitude of different situations versus, just seeing the same furniture from the same store over and over and over and over again.
Now, the store, though, they're not like one of those stores like Ashley where they manufacture their own stuff. So they're using, we see a wide variety of items. And when you've done, they showed me, I think last year I did like 1,800 deliveries or 2,000 deliveries. So, I've seen, that was in 1 year. I've done in the 2 years thousands of deliveries. So I have seen like a plethora of different types of homes, from, beachfront
but you
condos.
What I'm saying is you haven't dealt with everything.
Exactly. No, you're right.
Ancient
you said an armoire?
Ancient. You gotta understand, Florida's a retirement state.
Yeah.
So you gotta understand the type of customer. That type of customer is gonna be different from a New York or Chicago.
Yeah, we deal with a lot of them.
You're dealing with older, settled clientele. So now there's a different type of aesthetic and decorum, and as far as furniture, you're not dealing with essential or eccentric type of newer things. You're dealing with older curio cabinets, buffets, armoires. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, we deliver that stuff now, but I know what you're saying, because we also do disposals. So a lot of times customers we're delivering to, they purchase beachfront condos, and they have old furniture in there, and we have to go through before we deliver the new furniture. They pay for disposal, so we're taking out those old ass armoires that the previous owners didn't want to move out, so they just left all that shit in there. So I've had to deal with that stuff. Now granted, it's a disposal, so I don't have to necessarily worry about it getting damaged in transit, but there's other new furniture items on the truck, so we can't just throw it on there. Still gotta, load it, tie it up right.
I would still start with the smaller truck. This is me personally, bro.
For sure, yeah, to mitigate that risk. Yeah,
that's
definitely
building a better footprint, and like I say, I don't like homes is. I want to build a footprint. So I would definitely start with the 16-footer in that aspect than the 26-footer for that.
Okay, and I'm actually right now meeting up with a guy I saw on Facebook Marketplace. I've kind of been shopping around for trucks. I was initially looking at a 26-footer, but I'm like, that's a little ambitious given the fact that my time is allocated 5 days out of the week to that contract. So I would really only have 2 days to try to, work that truck a week, to pay off a truck note. So I'm like, let me get
I
something
would
I'm
rent a truck
comfortable
then, bro.
paying cash
Just rent
for.
a truck. If you ain't gonna do it
Rent
2 days a
one.
week, just rent a truck, bro.
Hmm.
Yeah. You're not even looking to do it
Okay.
full time. I mean, it's moving. Just charge the shit to the customer. You got a truck fee. If you running moves two days a week, Saturday and Sunday, and you can do 2 moves Saturday and 2 moves Sunday, or 3 moves Saturday, 3 moves Sunday, just fuck it, 2 moves Saturday, 2 moves Sunday. One job will cover the truck.
Okay.
So everything else is pretty much you ain't. Might as well just rent a truck.
Okay. And 2 days a week, just, because right now I have this contract, but the ultimate goal, like you're saying, since there is no growth, it's really just like a misclassified employee. My goal is to eventually, transition out of it, transition out of this contract, or, hire somebody, to take my spot on the truck. And then I kind of, dip in, make sure things are still functioning according, to the standard that I would, approve of. But goal is to grow a business. So that's why now I realize, okay, after 2 years, kind of gaining some experience in the industry, getting comfortable driving the big ass truck, because all of it was completely new to me, getting comfortable with furniture in general. So now that I have built up some level of comfortability, I feel comfortable now trying to kind of see what it's like to break away so I can ultimately, free myself from this. So that's why I say 2 days a week, with the goal of ramping it up, over time. So you say just start off with a rental?
I mean, if you're only going to do it 2 days a week, might as well, because it's not like you doing OTR or final mile. 100% of your costs, you charge it to the customer. So if you only going to be doing it part-time on the weekend, you just charge the customer for the cost. You charge them a truck fee. Every customer pays a truck fee. So one customer pay for the truck fee. If you book 4 jobs over the weekend, you're not paying for the truck. The customer's paying for it. You charging the customer for the labor with a markup, the materials with a markup. You're charging them for the truck. So even if you own the truck and you did 3 jobs in one day, each customer is going to pay a truck fee. So if you're renting the truck, to me it doesn't make sense to buy a truck if you're only going to be doing this part time on the weekend. Okay. It doesn't. The cost of paying for the truck, the insurance a month, like I don't see the justification of buying it. I see it. You might as well just rent it 100%. Of the revenue, put it in the kitty, and when you decide to do this full time, then all the money that you've generated from a free truck, essentially, your labor, then you go buy a truck. Generate money in the business and use the money in the business. Let the customers buy you a truck. Why would you go buy your own truck?
No, that's good advice. That's sound advice. That's why I wanted to.
Customers are paying. You're dealing directly to a consumer. Rent a truck, charge a customer for it.
Yeah, and now that's what was appealing about moving. Just listening to your lives when you were talking about how the customer absorbs 100% of the cost, and that's what kind of had me. Because at first I'm like, damn, I don't want to do moves. Moves a little more extensive. Like you say, you have to touch everything in that house. So I'm like, let me just stick with this final mile.
How old are you?
You said how old am I?
Yeah,
34.
So you got a 10-year window, big dog. Maybe less. So my question is, what's your exit plan?
I don't have one.
There you go. There you go.
and I'm being honest. Like I don't have an exit plan.
I'm being honest. So you want to transition into household goods moving at 34, which you're gonna have to build a business. And I'm telling you, you have a limited amount of time based on your age to do it. I'm telling you this as a 46-year-old man who's made his money in household goods moving. My hip, my knees, my shoulders can sit here and have conversations with you. So when I say your window, right, is limited, I'm talking about your window, because you're going to have to build a business. So guess whose body is going to really take the shock the most? I'm asking you.
You said, repeat that. I'm sorry.
Whose body's going to take the most hit? Body's going to take the most shock from building a household goods moving business?
Mine, as it has been,
because
mine.
all those sacrifices. Ellen the couch through a doorway, and you see it's tough. Your hand going to get smashed.
Yep, it's been smashed. Yep.
You see some shit falling, you going to absorb the shock, because you rather fuck your shit up, then pay for whatever that is.
You
You get what I'm
right.
saying? Your body
Yeah,
is
I know.
gonna
I
be
know. I've been doing
overexerted.
it.
You see what I'm saying? I hear what you
Yeah.
say. So now I'm telling you, at 34, you want to start doing this, you got to build the business.
Yeah.
So guess what? It's your body. This ain't
Mhm.
OTR. This ain't just sitting on your prostate, which is not good either. But there's a lot more banging and bruising and banging and bruising.
I've been taking them king size sleeper sofas up 3
I hear
flights of
you.
stairs.
So if you
I done,
already been
and
doing
I
it,
know I'm not
I'm
underestimating.
telling you your
I'm not
window.
underestimating the work.
I'm telling you your window.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how old or how in shape. I'm in shape. When I had to come back out during the pandemic, my body was different than when it was when I started, when I was on the truck from 30 to 32, 30 to 33. The 40-year-old mark went the 30-year-old mark. The 46-year-old mark ain't the 40-year-old mark. My hips tighten up every fucking day, bro. I got to stretch these motherfuckers every day, bro. You see
I
what I'm
hear
saying?
you. Get them hip flexors, them groiners.
So once you get to doing that shit, you gonna loosen up. But then when you go to sleep at night, you gonna lock up.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I was a Division One. Yeah, I've been doing this already for 2 years, but I was a Division One, athlete, and I did thankfully continue staying active, playing basketball on a daily basis up until about 30. So just in terms of physically, I work out. My muscles are. I'm not one of those guys that kind of rolled off. I listen to you live. Those dudes that are, 35, haven't done anything physical since PE class in high school, that are thinking they're gonna be able to lift a couch, lift a dresser day in, day out for 12, 14, 15. I've gotten to the warehouse at 5:30, gotten home at midnight.
Oh yeah.
So I've been on those days. And I woke up the next day and did that shit again.
Right.
So a lot of it is mental. It's physical, but a lot of that shit is mental.
Definitely.
You take yourself to a mental place where I'm doing this shit. And especially I'm getting the king's ransom. I'm the contractor.
That's what I'm telling you.
I'm incentivized to get my ass up and do this shit.
But what I'm telling you, if you had a guy that was working with you day in and day out, your body is going to deteriorate more because you're giving more. So that's why I'm saying.
Yeah, as I have been.
That's what I'm saying. At your age, that's why I asked you, what's your exit plan? You trying to start household goods now. You need to get started, big dog. Because
wait, when you say starting household goods now, you don't consider me doing final mile. You don't consider me having already started, since I've been delivering to customers' homes every day for the past 2 years?
Different. It's the same, but it's not the same, bro.
Oh yeah, I know it's different.
You dig what I'm saying? So.
But I'm not coming from completely left field. I'm in the industry.
Saying, but this is a different ball game. If you want to
know,
go the legal way, the cost, what that shit that they got you on right now, that's some nigger rig shit. That's some misclassified nigger rig shit. You see what I'm saying? Once you come into the household goods on the legal side, bro, you'll see what the difference is in cost when it comes to workers' comp and all that shit. Why? Because there's more liability at stake. It's governed, it's regulated different because you're dealing with people's personal items. You dig what I'm saying? So your cost is different. The liability is different, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's not the same, bro. You dig what I'm saying? So
yeah, I know.
You got to understand that, and I'm trying to. I know you saying, well, we already lifting, we carrying. But it's not the same, big dog. It's the same.
I know it's different.
It's different if you came from household goods and you diversified into final mile, diversify, and then we can say, yeah, you got it. But there's still a lot to learn in household goods moving that final mile doesn't offer you, big dog.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of that. I mean, I've never had to take a mounted TV off the wall. I'm doing furniture, so we don't do any appliances. I'm not dealing with, a lot of things that you have to do in moving that, I don't do in final mile. Like a lot of the boxes, if we do receive something in the box.
The scenarios is different.
Yeah, I mean, everything is completely different.
Yeah, motherfucker might have to hoist some shit up second to third floor balcony. Y'all not doing that. Tearing some shit up 40 flights of stairs, y'all ain't doing that. Setting shit on top of a goddamn elevator shaft. We've had to do that. They dropped the goddamn elevator, put the couch on top of the elevator, rolled the elevator up, dropped the elevator right before the floor steered the couch off. Y'all ain't doing that.
No, you're right. We're not doing
You
that.
dig what I'm saying?
They call.
Shit,
No, you're right.
y'all ain't doing that.
Yeah, there's certain things we don't do. There's certain things.
Yeah.
Third floor, we don't
Why?
exceed
Because of
the
the
third story if there's no
liability
elevator.
from the store. But when you running a business, you got that call. What you gonna do? Motherfucker paying you $250 an hour. Man, we can't get it. The fucking engineer the building, I'm gonna drop the elevator, sit on top of the elevator. I'm gonna let the elevator up slow. I'm gonna drop the elevator right before the phone, just pull that bitch off. See, a mover, if you weren't moving, you wouldn't understand that. You got to do that, but you got to know how to do that.
Yeah, no,
You
you're
dig
right.
what I'm
That's
saying?
foreign to me.
You
Yeah, you're
wouldn't know
right.
that shit
No, I
exists
know.
if you never done that to even understand it exists to know how to do it. Or fuck it, man. Fuck, man, we didn't measure this bitch. Well, you know it's a balcony. Man, y'all think y'all can hoist it up? What you know about motherfucker putting something on top of the truck, tying them straps on that bitch, throwing them ropes up and yanking that bitch up the side of the building. Or
Not a
lowering
damn
it down
thing.
the side of the building. Chucky said, I already
Yeah, no,
know
I
it's
hear you.
illegal. I already know it's illegal, Chucky. But you gotta understand when I came in the game.
Yeah.
you talk about a decade and a half ago. It's different now. I'm talking about my experiences from years ago. This the type of shit. Yeah, I ain't doing that shit now, but shit, nigga, this shit we did. We put shit on top of the elevator. This is before buildings wanted, every building want a COI now. This is back when buildings didn't want COIs.
Mm-hmm. Nah, yeah, no, I hear you. So I guess I was thinking the transition, I knew it would obviously be a learning curve because it's different. It's not the same. No matter how similar aspects of it may be, it's different, you know. But I guess I was thinking it would be the transition would be a little more, I don't want to say seamless because that might sound like it's simplifying it, but I'll just use that for lack of a better term. A little more seamless than what you're now kind of describing
moving?
it to be. The transition from moving.
I think moving to Final Mile is seamless. I don't think Final Mile to household goods is seamless. Mm-hmm. Because even then, just from the business aspect, there's a liaison there. Now you have to understand how to deal directly with a consumer.
Yeah. And how to generate my own business. And that's what's kind of because I didn't get into this I got into it to make money, but not to only make money, you know, because I quit my job, you know, I made decent money at my job. So I got into this, you know, due to the prospective opportunities to, you know, to grow a business. You know, so that's why I'm not running my business. Like, you know what I'm saying? I control what goes on in my truck. I control who I hire, things of that nature. But they tell me where to go. They tell me when to go.
Right.
They tell me what items I'm taking. You know, so I want to, you know, I haven't even had to maintain a truck. You know, so there's things that to consider myself a legit business owner. And if I do want to grow a business, these are things I do have to experience and do have to go through. Right. Like, you know, something goes wrong in that truck, I say, hey, yo, I put it on the little DVIR, the driver inspection report. I put, this engine light came on, this came on. They come to me the next day, say, hey, swap trucks. And they let me know when the truck's back, you know. So I don't know how to, I haven't had to deal with maintenance. I haven't had to deal with a lot of things.
These are decisions as a business owner that I'm giving you scenarios that you're going to be faced with where you're going to have to make a decision. You see what I'm saying? Are you going to do it or aren't you going to do it? How are you going to deal with the customer when you tell them, no, we're not hoisting it? How are you going to deal with the customer when saying, no, it ain't going to, and you know it's not going to fit? You dig what I'm saying?
I would try to, and again, like you said before, like there's always going to be some shit that got left out of that initial consultation, you know, but I would try to vet the customer as thoroughly as possible, let them know what we do, what we do not do. You know, if it is, we're not hoisting nothing. Go ahead.
Things happen. This is what I'm saying is different. With moving, it's always unforeseen situations that you're going to come across. Whereas it's not, you know, you come across those things with Final Mile, but with moving, it's always something. You dig what I'm saying? So you know, just to speed the conversation along, I understand what you're saying. And there's plenty of the scenarios that I can give you. And I'm kind of drawing a blank. I know we talked about a few things right now. And I'm kind of drawing a blank right now on where I wanted to go. But I think, you know, there's still a lot to learn. You have to come up with a plan, right? You have so that you understand the exit. And I just like to tell people, that's why I ask you your age, because time is ticking in this type of business.
Yes, it
I
is.
understand the
Yeah.
level of physicality it takes to build this business, right? Because you want, if the business takes off, you're going to be out there from day to night like you already are. And I think it's more physical with household in comparison to final mile. So I think your window of opportunity of you physically being out building the business, I think that window of opportunity is small. As far as the business growing, yeah, but you need to get in, understand it, build it, understand it, scale it, so you can remove yourself from the field and just running for the back end. So what it sounds like you got to do is you got to have a plan. Based on what you told me, I would keep what you're doing. I would rent a truck, charge the customers, right, for everything. Maybe do it for the summer. Try to book 2 to 3 jobs a day, right? Both Saturday and Sunday. Probably 2 because you working 5 days, so you don't want to overexert yourself. If you can get 4 jobs in the weekend, right, I think that would be good. I wouldn't do big houses. I would try to start somewhere with just a few things up to maybe a 2-bedroom so that you can ensure that you have the time to do 2 jobs. I wouldn't take the risk of doing anything big, which could carry over. And then now Monday, you're like, fuck it, I just can't leave these people hanging. And now you out all night and you apartments, right? It's safe. Charge the customer, rent the truck, save all that money. And then when you do, maybe say next year, the year after that, want to build a moving company, you've already done moves where you have some level of footprint. You have some sort of rapport of, people, word of mouth brand ambassador for you based on the work that you did, and then legalize it. You know what I'm saying? Get the truck with the money that you earned the previous summer, and then go from there and try to schedule stuff to the point where it's, if you can generate enough work that it can replace the work that you're doing, cool, but you still got to understand moving is seasonal.
Yeah.
Now you can make just about or more in that 6 months in moving than you make all year doing final mile. If you're making $250 final mile, you can make that in 5 months.
Well, 222 last year, 222.
You can make more than that in the spring and summer and moving.
That's crazy, and that's what kind of got me intrigued, because I've been watching your channel now. I started watching you right after I started the business, which is kind of a blessing in disguise, because if I watched your channel before I formulated the LLC and quit my job, I probably would have had a little more reluctance and probably wouldn't have done it. But I was able to find a situation that allowed me to be successful. I started off with T-Force. That lasted about 2 weeks. Overhead was crazy. Renting an enterprise truck, paying $1,800 for insurance, almost $3,000 a month for the truck, and with mileage. So, I kind of had a rocky start first few weeks, but then I hit the ground running as soon as I got this contract a couple of months later. But moving, I just hear you talking about it. I've watched a lot of your lives. Try to watch all of them. Usually watch the replays because I'm always running, but that moving, man, it's definitely money in it. And I figured I'm already breaking my back, I'm already working, 12, 13, 14, 15-hour days. Just give it a shot. Try to get your feet wet, ease into it modestly. I'm not trying to do those. I don't want a mansion. Like, I know what those customers are like. We've delivered to $4 million homes. We've delivered to, affluent clientele that's just all up your ass. They worried about a little wrinkle on the couch that just came out of a box. Of course it's going to have some wrinkles and indentions, so I figured, like, hey, you've gone this far, like, just see what it's like.
And that's another thing
say at least
that
moving
you mentioned, the thing you're dealing with, the difference between another things you just mentioned it, delivering housing, you're a lot of that shit has already come prepackaged. It's in a box, it's wrapped already, since you're doing furniture.
Well, hold on, let me add this to it, because since I'm working directly with the store, a lot of that stuff they take out of the manufacturer packaging because they want to inspect it.
Mhm.
So they open it up. So those dressers, nightstands, everything that's wooden,
Mhm.
chairs, all that stuff is already out of the box, assembled. So we have to take take the necessary measures to make sure it's safe during transit. The only thing that they keep in packaging are like leather sofas and sofas and recliners. They usually keep those in the manufactured packaging. But then again, dealing with the store, you know how furniture goes. Hey, a customer refuses something that was in the box, they open up that box, customer refuses it, that shit going back to the warehouse. They're going to have their technicians touch it up, and that shit will be in your bay next week to deliver to somebody else out of the packaging. So we receive a lot of stuff out of packaging that we have to, make sure it's wrapped. I have probably 100 blankets. I have a lot of supplies, 3-4 dollies, hand trucks, multiple drills. So like I have a lot of things that I would need, but there's definitely a learning curve in terms of like packaging up pictures, TVs. Like there's a lot of shit that I would have that would be completely foreign to me. But we do have experience of loading things that are not prepackaged. So, but yeah, but it definitely though, I'm not trying to underestimate what I would be embarking on. Like I know that shit is, I've moved myself, like, and I know, like, and I don't have half the stuff that some of these people I would be probably working with, would have. So I know moving's no joke.
Yeah, I would do it like how I did. I mean, you could do it whatever you want, but I wouldn't jump out the window. Just doing a license. I mean, if you're already doing that, test the market, right? This summer,
Yeah.
or this spring and summer, rent a truck. I wouldn't buy a truck because it's the customer's paying for it. So test it. Why jump out the window and buy something when you are trying to do somewhere the customer is paying for every single piece of the job, from the labor to the truck to the material? Or rent the truck, let the customer pay it, test the market.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? Don't go buy a truck to buy it, to test the market when you're not doing OTR or final mile. The customer's paying for it. Test it.
Yeah, no, you're right. That makes much more sense. That does make more sense.
So,
all right. No, that was pretty much that's pretty much the question I have for you today. I'm already in the Discord. I try to tap in and kind of read, stuff when I get a chance. But yeah, man, I'll definitely tap back in with you, man. I appreciate your time. Appreciate your advice. And just even before today, man, I've learned a lot just watching your channel over the last couple of years. And I do credit you with a lot of the reason, for a lot of my success, up to this point. So I appreciate you, Mark.
I appreciate you too, brother.
All right, man. I'll talk to you again. My name is Jordan, so you'll hear from me again.
All right, bet. Appreciate you.
All right, bro. Take care. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Whoever that 414 is, I'm sorry. Phone lines are off. I got shit I got to do. Yeah. Good show today. Appreciate everybody for watching. Tomorrow I will not be doing a show. We will be back Wednesday for another, I guess, entry level type top conversation. I think we're just gonna do conversations this week, as far as from coming in, entry level, cargo van, box truck, just understanding, dispelling some mindsets, what to look for, how to come in. We need to have some more success stories this year. I am putting together something. I'm not going to talk too much about it. Hopefully it does come into fruition, where I'm going to have some successful people come up and just have a conversation. If I can get everybody on the same schedule that have, come up under the content and my direction of my blueprint. So hopefully I can get that sometime, maybe one episode. It's not something that I'm looking to do every week or every month, but maybe once and again. So hopefully I can get something like that maybe in March. Other than that, appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. And until next time, I'm out. Peace.
Stay nice, same chair, same ground, right there. Turn it on. lean in close. This that. Welcome to the Mark, the mentor show, where the plans turn real and the hustlers grow. Talk money, talk mindset, talk get it, let's go. If you came from the bottom, it's the road you know. It's the Mark, the mentor show. Every loss, every lesson, turn it all to gold. From the late night notes to the sold out goals. Say the name one time so the whole world know.
Whoa, the Mark, the mentor show. Whoa, the Mark, the mentor show. Whoa, the Mark, the mentor show.
The Mark, the mentor show.